Hello everyone and welcome to the Osterreichring for round 5 of the F1 1967 SimRacingOnline Championship. Lewis de Vore is already dilly-dallying about in the grass, and today we are just a couple of minutes into the first qualifying session. I don't know why I said the first qualifying session, because this is the only qualifying session. It'll be a 10-minute session. We're almost 2 minutes in. And yeah, we're here with some classic 1967 Formula 1 cars at a classic circuit as well. This is the original Osterreichring, which hosted Grand Prix almost all the way throughout Formula 1's history, from the 60s right up until the present day, but in a very modified, very different layout. In reality, or in the modern day, the real track would have turned off to the right far before now, and would already be heading uphill. We are heading far downhill, and into the right-hander. This one, of course, the old Remus corner. We're riding on board with Lewis de Vore here because he was going to be the first driver to start a qualifying lap until he had that off. And then Yuka Drug took his place, and Drug actually has the initial pace at the minute with a 1:53.162. I don't think that's a flying lap. I think that may have been an out lap, but I'm not entirely sure. But whatever the case, we're watching Lewis de Vore in the Cooper as he rounds the back end of the circuit. That corner, known as Slosh Gold, is well, now about there where he is now in the modern day circuit, and then he heads onto the inside of the circuit. That's the Remus corner. Reich. Remus is the one at the top of the hill, and then through the corner that Andrea de Cesaris had his nasty accident at in 1985. To the right here, and then onto another lap. I want to watch Yuka Drug here though, because he is currently the championship leader, winning all of our 4 races so far, and he's about to start a new lap, so we will be able to watch a full lap on board with a 1967 Formula 1 car, and he does set the initial pace now. It's a 1:43.354, so that's what we're looking for. We're not using the chicane to the right there, so you cut straight across that chicane there. And he's actually just been beaten to the pole position by Fabrizio Ferrante. So Ferrante has the pace now. John Van der Geest goes to third, 1:44.346. That's over a second and, well, almost a second and a half off Fabrizio Ferrante at the top of the order. So Ferrante, who I believe will be taking an eagle around today, at the top so far. Laurent Lons has gone to third position so far. So it's Ferrante, Drug, Lons, Van der Geest, and then Grukok in fifth so far. Hello to Ida Yateri in the YouTube chat saying, yes, I'm with you, Yusuf. Yusuf being Yusuf Masset, who is currently yet to set a flying lap. As we continue to watch Yuka Drug heading around the back end of the circuit, braking past the 100-meter board, so that would have been about 75 meters until the apex of the corner that he braked there. It shows you just how late they can leave the braking in cars like these. Not as late as you'd be able to leave it these days with the extra aerodynamics, but still pretty agile, pretty nifty cars they had back in the 60s. Touching the grass with his left-hand wheels there as he goes over the kink and into this very long final corner now. Watch this as he gets the car hooked in, and that's probably the best turn into this corner I've seen all day. Not a great exit though, getting a little bit sideways. Santini has gone to third place. And now across the line, third place, or Yuka Drug does improve, but doesn't improve to the extent where he gets ahead of Fabrizio Ferrante. Onto another lap now goes Yuka Drug, as he is currently second in the order with just over 4 minutes to go. Ida Yateri says, nice commentary as always, Caitlin. Thank you very much, Ida. Very good to see you here today, and thank you very much for the compliment. That's very, very nice of you, and it's my pleasure to bring you races such as these. They are absolutely fantastic as always. Interestingly, Laurent Lons here in another of the Lotus 49s has actually just gone quicker than Yucca. So Lons goes second with a 143.084. Really nice time there, and quite essential for the driver third in the championship, who looked so strong in the opening parts of the season and has had terrible luck the last 2 races. Really dire luck and dire fortune. He's got involved in a couple of incidents and has dropped back a bit in the championship. Currently it's Fabrizio Ferrante who's second in the championship despite missing a round. And Laurent Lons in third place. Phil Brown is fourth, followed by John van der Geest, who finished third last time out. Then it's Bill Grugok, Yusuf Massip, Pablo Fanotti, Tony Talviti, and Louis Dufour. Those are the top 10 in this championship. And that's how it stands as we head into this 5th round of the series at the classic Osterreichring. It's a circuit that means a lot to me. Oh, Yucca Drug goes to the top there, 142.750. Really nice lap from Yucca Drug to put him to the top of the order. Really, really nice there. But I'm still watching Laurent Lons because I know that Lons can go quicker, but he's gone onto the grass. So, little mistake from Lons there. And that might well cost him the chance to be the third driver into the 142s today. He was going to have traffic in anyway, as he's got a Honda directly ahead of him on the road. Out to the final corner they come, and across the line, and it's a 144.1, so down on his previous time. Let's move ahead a bit on the road and find Fabrizio Ferrante, who's currently second in the order. Can he react to Yucca Drug at the top of the times with just over 2 minutes to go? Or is it too late for Fabrizio in the Eagle? Fabrizio, of course, took pole position last time out at the Monza circuit, and he was the first driver other than Yucca Drug to take a pole position this series. Little mistake there from Ferrante in the last corner, so or through Slosgold rather, but he hooks it together and keeps it on the road. He's got 2 left-handers coming up now. Oh, someone going off ahead of him there, and that'll be Louis Dufour. At the corner we saw him going off on his out lap. So Dufour really not liking that corner there. Santini goes second now. Matteo Santini up into second with a 142.850, just 8 thousandths faster than Ferrante. Now can Ferrante react to that? Yucca Drug improves on his time again, 142.690, really, really quick lap. As Santini pits, what can Ferrante do? He crosses the line and he goes second, 142.748, and he's going to get one more chance. Santini will not get another chance as he's in the pits. Oh, Phil Brown's had an off there. Here's Yucca Drug. He's just gone quicker than his best. Max Shepard currently running in 13th position. Although I'm interested here in John van der Geest because he was on the podium last time out. He was 3rd place, but he's only 6th place in the session so far. I know that van der Geest has more potential and should be able to get into the 143s today. Although, he was saying to me before this race that he wasn't going to be competing due to family commitments. So he may not have expected to have actually been racing today, and he may not have done that much practice. But we'll see. He's got one more corner to go on the lap. Misses the apex a little bit, slides out. That's some understeer. As the checkered flag now comes out on the session. So this is going to be the driver's last chance of setting in quicker laps. Van der Geest does not improve. So no improvement from John van der Geest. The next car through is going to be Yucca Drug, as Santini can't improve. So I think pole is going to be between Drug and Ferrante, and maybe Lons if he can hook together another lap. Here comes Drug out of the final corner. He doesn't necessarily need to improve if no one else does, but can he anyway? No improvement. He's down as he crosses the line. Now, is anyone else coming through? I have to scroll back to find them. Ferrante's being held up a bit by Dufour here. Dufour crossing line in 10th. Where can he put himself? He stays 10th, but does improve. Ferrante does not improve. So no improvement for Ferrante. So I scroll back to see if anyone else is still on the lap. What about Laurent Lons? Lons was 4th last time through. And for the driver third in the championship, can he get himself into the top 3 in the order before the race starts? Across the line. Oh my word, he's gone pole! He's pulled pole out of nowhere! Fantastic final lap there from Laurent Lons. And I was not expecting an improvement of that level. Utterly brilliant there from Laurent Lons to put himself right at the top of the order at the dead. Fantastic! I haven't seen a climax to a qualifying session quite like that one for a long time now. Laurent Lons first position, utterly brilliant, followed by Jacques Drug. It's an all Lotus front row of the grid. Then Fabrizio Ferrante and Matteo Santini make up third and fourth. Let's run you down the grid the proper way, shall we, by actually looking at the drivers on the grid. So I don't know why it's saying 9th place, but whatever the case, Laurent Lons is going to be leading us, followed by Jacques Drug. It's an all Lotus front row of the grid. And then we have Fabrizio Ferrante in the Eagle, Matteo Santini in the Ferrari. There's a better camera view for that. There we go. Phil Brown, another Ferrari, followed by John Vandergy. So Lotus, Ferrari and Eagle looking very, very strong here. There's Bill Grucock, Lotus, and Pierluigi Italia, the top McLaren we have here in 8th position. Can You Sell has a Honda in 9th place, followed by Lewis Dufour in the only BRM. Not many drivers actually like the BRM there in 10th position. Jens Roos 11th in the Honda, Martin McLean 12th place, Max Shepard the first Brabham. It's amazing that we only have the first Brabham in 13th position. And seeing as Brabham was the real-life champion in 1967, that's very, very unusual to see Brabhams this far down the grid. And maybe we'll see them making it up later on with their superb consistency. But whatever the case, yeah, Brabham only 13th and 14th here, with Yusuf Massett 14th. Norman Bruce 15th. Then we have that's ignore the rest of the order except for maybe Carl Stieg. I don't know if Carl Stieg is starting the race or not. If he is, he will be starting from 16th position. So we have just a couple of seconds now until the start of the race. The timer is ticking down. Here you see the grid lining up. They will be started by the green flag in just 16 seconds now. And then we will be underway around this 1 minute and 40-second Osterreichring circuit. Here come the lights, and when 6 lights come on and go out, we will be underway, as we are now. Go! And off we go. The race has begun. It's going to be a 45-minute race as they head up towards the first corner. Jacques Drug has the inside line. Laurent Lons will be on the outside, and it's Drug who leads through turn 1. So Jacques Drug leads us through turn 1. Is everyone through safely? Carl Stieg did start the race, and I believe everyone is through the first corner safely. That's good to see. Bill Grucock up into 8th ahead of Lewis Dufour. Oh, contact further back. Italia gets spun. Pierluigi Italia gets tipped sideways, and how? Was there not a much larger accident there? Oh my word. Italia got spun there. Looked like he made contact with Dufour and then slid into John Vandergeest, but somehow got away with it. I have no idea how that didn't end up in disaster. Santini side by side with Lons for second place, heading towards the Slosh Gold corner. It's Santini on the inside in the Ferrari, and he's made it stick. So Santini up into 3rd place here, and Laurent Lons down into up into 2nd rather, and Laurent Lons down into 3rd. We're losing Pierluigi Italia, so Italia is dropping down the order, and that's why it's a crash with Norman Bruce, Pierluigi Italia, and Can You Sell. So there's been an incident involving a couple of drivers. Martin McLean has been involved as well, further down. Maybe in a separate incident, probably in a separate incident. And look at Fabrizio Ferrante as well, on the back of Laurent Lons and Matteo Santini now. We've got a 3-way chain for 3rd place as we head under the Bosch banner to end just the first lap of the race. Through the final corner we go now. It's Drug from Santini from Lons. And then Ferrante, Brown, Dufour, Vandergeest, Shepard, Grucock, Massett, and then Bruce, Italia, Ussel, Stieg, Roos, and McLean. And I'm quite proud of myself for remembering all the drivers' names without having to check them. Unfortunately, Max Shepard has pulled into the pits after the first lap, so we appear to have lost Shepard as John Vandergeest has passed Dufour. But yeah, Max Shepard going through the pits. Now, is he giving himself a... Oh, well, also in the pits, I'm afraid, Pierluigi Italia and Carl Stieg, and also crashing into the pits is Can You Sell. It's unusual to see a driver crashing on the entry to the pit lane, but Yusel's been off. Over the crest of the hill, Drug already has a lead of 1.5 seconds. That's what we're used to seeing him do. Although he came under pressure towards the end of last race with Fabrizio Ferrante. We've had a move for 6 as well. John Van der Geest again getting past Defour, so Defour must have got past him before that. And it's a close race between those two in 6th and 7th positions at this point in time, as they slipstream down the start-finish straight. My goodness, that's not the start-finish straight at all. I don't know what he's looking at there. Santini followed by Lons through the technical part, the inside part of the circuit. Look at those masses of crowds on that bank there, with just a flimsy guardrail separating them from the cars. That's how they did it back in the day, and that's how I'm very glad they don't do it anymore. Oh, going wide there is Santini. He runs wide through the final corner, and Lons is going to have a real chance to get through into second here on this straight. Lons gets a much better exit to turn to the final corner as everyone sets their first lap of the race at the end of lap 2, understandably so. Lons goes to the inside and gets second position into turn 1. It's a Lotus 1-2. If you're going to point out the position of every Lotus in the race, it's actually 1-2-8-13, but whatever the case, Drug now leads from Laurent Lons, just ahead of Matteo Santini in the Ferrari. Past the massive bank on the left-hand side. This is a circuit that means a lot to me, as I won my first 2 sim races here when we came here with the historic Formula 3 cars, the 1966 Formula 3 cars, these of course being 1967 Formula 1 cars. Oh, and it looks like Lons is going wide. Lons is going wide through the slot skull. Can Santini return the favour that Lons gave to him when Santini ran wide through the final corner? No, because Lons gets the better run and stays second for now. Slightly sideways goes Matteo Santini there. Through the left-hander. Oh my word, massive slide for Santini. Looks like he just overcooked it slightly and somehow managed to get away with it without losing a position. Goodness gracious. Further back as well, it seems that Defour's losing a couple of places. He's lost out to Grukok and Masset. So down into 9th has gone Lewis Defour for now. There's Max Shepard after his pit stop. And Jens Roos, Norman Bruce, Carl Stieg, Italia, McLoone after theirs. We've only lost 1 driver so far, and it's been Can Yussel, as Drug sets another fastest lap at the end of lap 3. And Lons and Santini continue to do battle over that second place. And after just over 5 minutes of racing, Drug's lead is already 3.2 seconds. That's really quite impressive. Andrew Williams points out that every race, 2nd and 3rd always fight for position, just letting Yucca run off into the distance. And indeed, that does tend to be the case. Yucca just keeps his head clean and escapes the pack every time. Here comes Santini though. He's having a look back at Lons. Oh, he's made a mistake. He put 2 wheels in the grass. Can he get it slowed in time? He gets it very, very squirrely under brakes there. And Ferrante almost gets at him into Schlossgold. But they both make it through more or less okay. I thought that was going to come off far worse. Van der Geest made a mistake. Oh my word, it's him and Defour. They've both been off. I think there's been a collision between the two of them, and oh my word, yeah, heavy damage for John Van der Geest, who didn't know if he was even going to make the race today, and now maybe wishes he hadn't. Heavy damage for John Van der Geest. We didn't see what happened, but there must have been contact with Lewis Defour. I saw him dropping down the order, and that'll be why. Possibly some slight steering damage for Lewis Defour as well, but it's not that drastic. He's still continuing on his way. I should point out, Yusuf Masset started 14th. He's already up into 7th, so great start from Yusuf Masset. Really nice. Drug, Lons, Santini Ferrante and Brown, with Lons, Santini and Ferrante still in a chain there. Here we go through the back end of the course. This is where Michal Mazurek ran into my rear when we were fighting for the win in the historic Formula 3 race. One of the most tense moments I've ever had as a driver personally. Down the back straight we go. And it looks as if Lons is slightly edging clear of Santini now. Santini still just about in slipstreaming range. But dropping back gradually from Lons in the Lotus. That Lotus, I've been saying it all season long, it just puts its wheels exactly where it needs to. It was really an engineering masterpiece of its time. As were a lot of these other cars, but Lotus just got it right. They got the formula right when some others didn't. Ferrari, for example, had a really stagnant period about this time, where they didn't win a championship. They didn't win a championship from 1964 all the way through to 1975. It was a really dormant period for Ferrari. And they won very few races in that time as well. That was until the Niki Lauda era. And yeah, Ferrari weren't having a great time. They were just at the start of that. To be honest, it was very reminiscent of the 2014 season as well, when Ferrari failed to score a podium all season, as Martin McLoone had a bit of an off there from 14th position. He's been struggling all race, and he's having more problems now as he doodles along in the grass, but we'll leave him to it. Down the back straight, and it looks as if Santini is still holding just behind Laurent Lons. The gap is maintaining at about 9/10 of a second. Wow, and Santini gets... That is a spectacular bit of footage. That really was, as Santini got very, very sideways through the Slosgold. We've seen that happen 2 or 3 times now. Santini is driving a car that is absolutely not to his liking. The setup is far, far beyond his control, and yet somehow he's holding it. I should say, it's not far beyond his control, it's just that it's slightly more oversteery than he'd like. But he's controlling it. He really is. Somehow. And unbelievably, he's managed to hold that. That was a spectacular slide. And he's still within a second of Lons. How does he do it? Oh my goodness. So after a massive slide from Santini, the gap as they cross the line, he's only lost 0.3 of a second on that lap. It's still just a second. And then there's a second back from him to Ferrante. And then 3 seconds to Brown. Up towards Remus, the right-hander. Very little braking goes on here. You tend to just let the car coast through the corner. And it's more about what you let the car do than what you don't let it do through that. Change for 10th place. And that was... Oh, that's because Lewis Dufour and... Who's that in the grass? It's still Martin McLoone. Has he touched the track once since he's been off at the start of the lap? I think he's just trying to keep out of everyone's way as he gets back to the pits. Whatever the case, yeah, Dufour had enough, and that means that Stieg is up into 10th place. Back up the order to 3rd place. Santini's still sticking with Lons and actually getting closer again. This has been a great performance, great bit of car control so far from Santini in the Ferrari. Purple sector there for Pierluigi Italia in the McLaren. Really nice. And he's in 13th position, recovering from the incidents on the first lap of the race. The only McLaren in the race. We had far more at the first round, but yeah, he was the only McLaren, or he is the only McLaren now, and has been for quite some time in this championship. someone's in the pits, and that's Martin McLoone, so he did make it back, despite doing pretty much that entire last lap in the grass, which was quite amusing. Yeah, he's made it to the pits. He's over a minute and a half behind the car ahead of him, and Defore's passed Stieg back again for 10th place. There he is. Yep, Defoe has just passed Stieg. Now, of course, this isn't for points, seeing as points only go down to 6th position in this series. It really is quite selective of who it hands out points to. But still, yeah, this could turn into a battle for points later on if there's more incidents and if there's a bit of carnage, as we've seen happening at a fair few races so far this season, so it's not entirely unlikely. We hope it doesn't go that way, but it might. Through the final corner, it seems that Defoe's getting away from Stieg a bit. He's just struggling a little bit with that poorly handling Cooper, as a lot of the other Cooper drivers have been complaining of all season long. In fact, Defoe is the only driver who's stuck with the Cooper all the way through this season. We had far more at the opening round, and ever since then, the only other driver who I remember taking a Cooper out was Max Shepard, and he hated it. Absolutely loathed it with a passion when he drove it at Donington. And had a couple of offs there, just simply caused by the car being so frustrating to drive. Down the start-finish straight they go again, or should I say up it. It's a steep, steep incline. And whenever I see that straight, I think of a famous piece of footage, which was at the 1975 Austrian Grand Prix, I believe, when it was pouring it down with rain, and Vittorio Brambilla came through to claim his only Formula 1 victory. And as he crossed the line, he stuck his hands up in the air to celebrate, and the loss of performance from his hands blocking the air intake led his engine to seize up instantly. His rear tyres locked, and he managed to crash across the finish line while winning the race, which is quite an amusing bit of footage, but a bit embarrassing for Vittorio. He was completely fine, but certainly something he's not going to live down in a while. Not many people know that story, but yeah, I believe it was the 1975 one. May have been 1976. It was in the mid-70s anyway. And that was Vittorio Brambilla's only win in Formula 1. And it was at this circuit, which is why that story came to mind. Oh, someone's off there in a Honda, and that will be Norman Bruce, won't it? Yep, Norman Bruce from 13th position. And has he got engine power? Oh no. Well, he's got engine power, but those wheels are not pointing in the right direction. That's not good there for Norman Bruce. And hopefully he can coast back to the pits. Oh, was that our leader? No, that was Bill Krukok, who had to take avoiding action there going into the corner. And Bruce, look at those wheels. That's very unhealthy. Has hit the wall again. And he's going to be... Oh, I hope everyone sees him through here. Someone already had to take... Oh, don't do that! Just slammed on the accelerator and hit the wall again. But anyway, continuing on his way, hopefully, in a bit. Yucca Drug already lapping people. He's just about to lap. That's Carl Stieg in 12th place. In the identically liveried Graham Hill Lotus 49, number 6. This, of course, the very last Lotus in Team Lotus colours, before Goldleaf came in as a title sponsor in 1968. And they won the championship in 68 with Graham Hill behind the wheel, when Jim Clark died after winning the first round at South Africa. And Goldleaf stayed with the team until 1971, when they were replaced by John Player Special. And off the road has gone Max Shepard from 12th place. He struggled with the Cooper, and he's struggling again with the Brabham. In fact, before this race, he messaged me on a social media site to say it's crazy how quick these guys are. I don't understand how everyone else is so much quicker than me. So yeah, Shepherd not having a great time this weekend. And hopefully he has more luck later on. Norman Bruce is still parked on the inside of that corner. And he's still got engine power, but he's not being able to get that car running. And he needs to get that car off the road, because otherwise he's going to be a real hazard there. And he's retired to the pit lane. That's very wise, but he should have done it a lot sooner. John Vandergee still running in 12th. Max Shepherd will be peeling into the pits this time around with heavy damage. Oh my word. Yeah, that's over 90% steering failure. Oh my goodness, 90 degree rather. Martin McLean, another driver who's had a race in the wars, still running in 15th place. Norman Bruce has now left the service, so he's retired. We now have 14 drivers remaining. Bit embarrassing to be running in 15th place when there are only 14 drivers in the race, to be honest. Now McLean gets through into 14th. And Max Shepherd's missed his box. Okay, well, hopefully it's going to be repairing him now, but that's going to delay him. There's McLean and Massett. Little bit of a muddled up order with drivers having to give way to other drivers. That's Carl Stieg being lapped by Fabrizio Ferranti there. And Santini is still on the back of Lons, this time just over half a second behind him. It's amazing just how long he's been there for, sitting directly behind Laurent Lons in second position. He's now less than half a second behind him. And will Santini be in attacking range as we head onto the start-finish straight? I'd hesitate to believe he won't be, as Italia goes off again there on the inside. Here comes Santini up the straight, and somehow he's not got enough of a slipstream to challenge. Probably because of the hill directly in front of them. On any other circuit, he'd have been well and truly in attacking range there. Maybe he'll do it on the back straight, as he's attacking and attacking again. Meanwhile, Jukka Drug has built up his lead to 6 seconds. Quite incredible there from Jukka Drug over Laurent Lons and Matteo Santini, who are battling behind him. And Fabrizio Ferranti isn't actually that far behind these two. Look at him, ready to take the spoils if something goes wrong. And here comes Santini, surely. No, he's still too far back, heading into the Slosgold. Surely he won't go for a dive. He doesn't go for a dive, and he shouldn't have done, so that's good. Already 20 minutes gone in this race, and 25 remaining. So we're almost halfway through now. And Santini takes a look to the inside, but there's no room there, as Lons is driving a wide car at this part of the race. And Ferranti is getting right into the back of them too. This is really spectacular racing here from the Osterreichring. Gets 2 wheels on the grass on the inside. And now as we head down towards the final corner of the race, or no, final corner of the lap, sorry, not the race, Santini may have another chance to attack. He's consistently within 0.4 of a second of Laurent Lons ahead of him, but not able to make a move somehow. Less than half a second is the gap as they cross the line. And still Santini's not there. He needs Lons to make a mistake. Ferranti's now less than a second behind them. This is a proper 3-way battle for second position. After 22 minutes of this race. 21 minutes and 28 seconds. Onto the back straight they go. Santini almost dips 2 wheels into the grass, but gets away with it. As they catch Laurent Lons into the right-hander. You see the BMW sign on the grandstand on the outside. They're not a sponsor of us, but they were a sponsor of the Osterreichring back in the 1980s, I believe. Making this a slightly outdated version of the well, making these slightly outdated cars for this version of the track, but never mind. This is a track, of course, that keeps getting updated. They ran it with a chicane, they ran it without a chicane, and then they made the new the newer A1 ring, which was run in the 1990s, and then that was upgraded as well to make the Red Bull ring, the Spielberg circuit as we know it today, as we know and love it, if you're a fan of the circuit, which I am. Down the back straight, Santini setting his personal best lap of the race, and surely he's going to challenge this time. Not close enough. He took a little look, but he had to back out of it, knowing that the outside line was the line to have through turn 1 there, unless you could get yourself completely alongside the other car. And now they are alongside each other, and Santini gets it. Can he make it stick? He gets it slowed, and he hooks it into the corner. And Matteo Santini is up into 2nd position, but still they're side by side as they exit the corner. Can Lons get it back again? Can he stay on the inside towards Slosgold? There's a slight left-hand kink here, so I don't think he will be able to. And there we go, exactly as I predicted. Matteo Santini gets it. 2nd position goes the way of the Ferrari driver. And he does now start to pull away from Laurent Lons. Great move from Matteo Santini that lasted a couple of corners, and that was essential in terms of his race there. Now, can he get after Yucca Drug, or is it too late? Does he have enough in his bank? Well, not if Lons comes back at him, that's for sure. Now, you'd be forgiven for thinking that Drug and Lons were teammates due to them both running Lotuses, but they're actually not. We do have teams in the series, but they're not determined by the cars that you drive or the team that fielded your car in the actual Formula 1 Championship. In terms of teams, which we haven't mentioned yet this series, it's currently Hoodie Racing at the top of the teams championship, and they field Yucca Drug and Yucca Drug. Oh no, sorry, Yucca Drug, and they also ran Henri Miettinen earlier this series for 1 round, but Miettinen finished 8th in his race and therefore did not score any points. And then we also have the Gear team run by John van der Geest and Pablo Finotti. We have Redline Racing, that is Bill Grucott and Jens Roos and Mark Jones, sorry, in the Redline Racing 2.0 team. We have Pinnacle Motorsport, which is Tony Talviti, and Talviti only actually. But I don't think Talviti is racing today, so we'll go ahead. And then we also had Flying Crowbar. They are only running Norman Bruce today, but earlier this series they had Rob Milliken and Flavio Bosga. And then also Stieg Autosport runs Carl Stieg. And then also Supermod Motorsport ran Alex Bonner for 1 race earlier this series as well. So those are all of the teams that participate in this series. Every driver who I didn't just read out is a privateer, not running under a team name. So just under 20 minutes remaining in this series, or in this race now. Not in this series, we still have 2 rounds, sorry, to go in the series after this. We have Zandvoort in a week's time, and then the Feldberg Ring, sorry, in 2 weeks' time. And Zandvoort's going to be very interesting because it's an extremely tight, extremely twisty circuit. I should point out that now Santini's got past Lons. Lons is coming under pressure from Fabrizio Ferrante, who's now less than half a second behind him. So Ferrante and the Eagle going for it here, seeing his chance and hoping to follow Santini through. Still 14 drivers remaining in this race. It's been a bad day for Hondas, as they've had 2 drivers out so far and 1 running right at the back. Their best place driver, was that a spin? No, I think it was just the driver getting very sideways there. Matteo Santini. We've seen him getting sideways a number of times so far in this race. But anyway, as I was saying, What was I saying? Oh my word. Oh yeah, the Honda. Jens Ruiz currently running in 9th position in the Honda, the best placed of those cars. But of course, you don't get points unless you finish in the top 6. Possibly you could see as even worse as the McLaren car, because they only have one car here today, and that's Pierluigi Italia running in 10th place. The only Cooper is Lewis Dufour, and he's running in 8th place, so no points for them either today. At the end of the series, we should add up all of the points scored by each of the individual constructors, not just teams but constructors, to work out a little constructors championship. I wouldn't be surprised if Lotus came out the top of those. But then again, there have been more kind of Ferraris and Eagles racing, so it would depend on how the rules worked and what kind of point system you implemented. But yeah, Jaka Drug so far has won all 4 of the first 4 races in this championship and looks to be on his way to a 5th out of 5. And if he could win all 7 races of this championship, that would be a really, really impressive tally. And a really impressive record as well. It'd be quite something, to be honest, as Ferrante gets slightly sideways there, but holds it together. Leave your bets in the comments. Will Jaka Drug win all 7 races of this championship? Or will something go wrong in the remainder of the series? Or will someone pip him to one of the final wins? We've got 3 more chances, including this one, although this one's looking good for him. If I had to say it, I'd say that in terms of pure pace, it's certainly looking very good for him. In terms of pure pace, he's probably going to be the quickest at every round. But things can always go wrong in motorsport, and often do. If his F1 spelt backwards and all of that. Meanwhile, Fabrizio Ferrante, less than 0.3 of a second now behind Laurent Lons, and might well launch an attack on this lap now. Through turn 1, not close enough just yet. What about up towards Remus? Still right with him. Behind them, Phil Brown sets his fastest lap of the race, but he's still over 11 seconds behind them. Of course, that's drastic in terms of the battle for second in the championship. It's currently Ferrante in second in the championship, followed by Lons and Brown. But if they finish like this, oh, hold on, let me hold off on the maps, because Ferrante took a look there to the inside of Lons, but had to back out of that. Now, if they were to finish like this, Lons would score. Let me just find the information for the round. Right, if they were to finish like this, Laurent Lons would score 4 points, and Ferrante would score 3, meaning Ferrante would still be second in the championship, but only by 3 points rather than 4. And Phil Brown would finish 5th in this race, meaning he would score 2 points, and that would put him 3 points behind Laurent Lons. So it would still be Ferrante, Lons, Brown, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. But yeah, it would get a lot closer. In terms of Matteo Santini, I believe he's missed a couple of rounds in this championship. Indeed, in fact, look, now that I look at the order, Santini is a driver that's had really bad luck. He's been very quick in both the qualifying sessions he's done, but then he hasn't been able to deliver the results in the race. This, believe it or not, would be his first points of the series if he was to finish where he is now. What an impressive start that would be. That would be really, really impressive from Matteo Santini. Into Slosgold again, still Ferrante not having a chance to attack just yet. we're now over half an hour through this race with just over 12.5 minutes remaining. Hello to everyone watching live in the YouTube chat, the YouTube stream, and hello to everyone who will be watching this afterwards as well, after all is said and done. We welcome you in at any time, and we hope that you are enjoying it. But anyway, in the pits at the minute is Pierluigi Italia. So we've had a problem for the McLaren driver, and he does get running again, but he's a long way down the order in 12th position. His nearest rival though, Max Shepard, over 2 minutes behind after an incident earlier on, after several incidents earlier on. Well, it's good to see him still running. Same with Martin McLean, and I hope they're enjoying it out there, if nothing else. Here's Jaka Drag, our leader, still leading us through, as leaders tend to do. Santini, meanwhile, actually getting caught by Lons again to the top, second, third, and fourth, and now within a second of each other again. Here comes Ferrante to the inside of Lons, very nearly. And we still have a proper three-way battle for second, as we have done for almost this entire race. Santini dips a wheel into the grass. Will this give Lons a slipstreaming opportunity down the straight? Will Ferrante be getting a nice little double slipstream from behind? I'm not sure it quite works like that, but anyway. Through the Schlossgold corner and towards the inside of the circuit. That's Reich. And then there is a name for this next corner, which has completely escaped my head, sorry. Pierluigi Italia lost a whole minute in the pits there. I can tell by his gap to Max Shepard behind. That's a shame for him, but I'm afraid neither of those drivers were going to be scoring points today anyway, unless something incredibly drastic happened. Really great to see such a large grid here today as well. 16 drivers. That's about what we've been getting all the way through this championship, and that's good to see. Now look at Ferrante going to the inside of Lons towards turn 1. Has to back out of it there. The outside line has the advantage, unless the driver on the inside can get all the way. And has Santini gone off? It's Italia. Oh my word, I saw a red car to the outside, and that startled me a bit. But yeah, Italia ran off on the outside there. But here was a lap down. Maybe a couple of laps down, actually, now that I think of it. But Santini still running in second, followed by Lons, and Ferrante has dropped back, actually, as he had to back off through turn 1 and just lost that momentum. He's now just over 1.3 seconds behind Lons anyway. Less than 10 minutes remaining in this race now, as Santini very nearly gets sideways. Now on the exit of the Schlossgold, the gap is 0.6 of a second between Santini and Lons for second, and then 1 second between Lons and Ferrante for third. There are no gaps closer than this, or even nearly as close throughout the whole of the rest of the field. It's quite a spread out field, I'm afraid, due to various incidents earlier on. But good to see so many drivers still running despite all of those incidents. Out to the final corner they come again. And down the start-finish straight. Ferrante now closer to Lons again than Lons was to Santini that time through. So just over 8 minutes to go. The time is ticking down as off goes Max Shepard, 13th place, bounding over the grass and off into the wall, and that looks very much like a driver who's given up to me. Is that Max Shepard out of the race, or is he just severely damaged? He's trying to get the engine to run again, but I'm afraid it looks to me as if we've lost Max Shepard. Oh no. a very unlucky driver who's not been able to get used to this car at all. And that's a big, big shame for Max Shepard. As Pierluigi Italia's retired too. So it looks as if we lost 2 drivers on the same lap there. 12th and 13th places they were running. And Martin McLuhan's in the pits. Have we lost 3 drivers? Has there maybe been an incident somewhere that we didn't see? Quite possibly, because Italia, Shepard and McLuhan have all gone back to the pits on that 1 lap. Meaning we only have 11 drivers running. This is John Vannegees getting lapped by Bill Grucock there. Or is he trying to unlap himself? Whatever the case, Santini, Lons, Ferrante still close. Ferrante's surely going to have a chance to have a look at Lons this time around. Surely, look at that! Out to the final corner they come. And onto the start-finish straight. Slipstreaming aplenty goes on here. Fabrizio Ferrante sits the fastest lap of the race with a 1:42.9 as he pulls alongside Laurent Lons to the inside. Lons going wide, and they both keep their foot in. And Ferrante's got him on the exit. Fabrizio Ferrante up into 3rd position, but he's run wide, and Lons has forced Ferrante to take the inopportune line into Remus there. Lons has got back past Ferrante, as I was sure it was all said and done, but Ferrante made a slight mistake there. And is that his last chance? Well, the time having just over 5 minutes left indicates it won't be. Through Schlossgold again. Ferrante just under 0.4 of a second behind him. There really is nothing in it. Well, I suppose there isn't nothing in it because there's just over 0.3 in it, but you know what I mean. Now, can you find 2.5 of a second in 5.5 minutes? That's the question. And it's less a question of finding it and more a question of not losing it again. Under the Bosch banner and round the final corner, also sponsored by Bosch, who are not a sponsor of us. Max Shepard incidentally is back in the race, so whatever his incident is, it wasn't race ending, and there he is still running in the Brabham. Good to see drivers not giving up, but I'm afraid he is running 13th position in a 12-car race at the minute. Yes, that is possible. So I was struggling to find our leaders there, but yeah, still fighting between Lons and Ferrante. Although Santini appears to be getting away from these two a bit. And might be out of slipstreaming range now. They'll probably be getting a very distant tow, but it won't be helping them much at this point. It's very much just between Lons and Ferrante now. As Santini pulls away from these two. But let's face it, there's not enough time left in this race for him to catch Yucca Drug unless something drastic happens. Sorry. Martin McLuhan back in the pits, I'm afraid. Actually, I think he was in the pits the whole time. Ignore me. I just saw it again. So, apologies about that. As Ferrante did take a little look to the inside of Lons, but that's not a corner you tend to overtake out there. Towards the final corner again. And now Ferrante can really think about setting up Lons. And that wasn't a good way to go about it, taking a look to the inside there. Because he's now going to get all sorts of out of shape through the final corner. And lose a bit of momentum as we head out onto the final start-finish straight. Well, not the final start-finish straight, but the start-finish straight. He's still going to be going at it though. Ferrante to the inside of turn 1. Oh, there's contact! No! They both go off! Lons is in the wall! A big, big hit! And somehow Ferrante's got away with it! Ferrante gets away with it, Lons is off, and Ferrante's not slowing down, which shows me he believed that it was Lons' fault. It may well have been. Let's ride on board with Lons to see if there's any damage. He's lost third place to Ferrante. doesn't appear to be any damage, and he's got away lightly there because that was a big hit. Phil Brown still a little way behind him. I'm going to have a look back at the stream to see if I can spot whose fault that was. And I'm afraid it looks to me as if Lons brought that on himself, as he turned in very much expecting Ferrante to disappear, and I don't really know what Ferrante was supposed to do there. So unfortunately for Lons, he's lost third place, but very much brought on himself. And that's the end of that battle for now. The cars are all relatively spread out in this race. Drug has just passed, or just lapped to 4. But he continues to run in first position, as we have just, well, it'll be 1 lap to go, won't it? Unless he crosses the line in the next 6 seconds. Yeah, looks to me as if we're going to have just 1 more lap. So final lap now for Yucca Drug. We might as well watch him in action. Our last chance to run on board with a champion in the making, Yucca Drug. In fact, could he claim the championship here? He needs to be 18 points ahead of his rivals heading into the final round. And if, yeah, you know, this is something that I hadn't noticed so far, but if Yucca Drug finishes where he is now, he will be mathematically unassailable for the rest of the series. Golly, I'm sorry I didn't check that before. I was a bit rushed today, but whatever the case, Yucca Drug coming towards this lost gold. He's got 2 cars, maybe, well, I don't think fighting ahead of him. They'll be on different laps. And that is Carl Stieg and Max Shepard. Yeah, indeed, they are on different laps. But Yucca Drug, he's driven superbly so far this season. And for him to wrap up the championship on round 5 will be quite an incredible achievement and show just what an amazing driver he is, as you very rarely see people wrapping up championships on round 5 out of 7. Stieg gives way to him nicely. Towards the final corner of the race goes Yucca Drug. And Yucca Drug is going to be champion of the 1967 Sim Racing Online Formula 1 League. We still have 2 rounds to go, but he's done it nonetheless. Yucca Drug crosses the line and wins not just the race but the championship. It's 5 out of 5 for Yucca Drug. A brilliant performance, utterly spectacular for Yucca Drug in the Lotus 49. Just brilliant. Matteo Santini second, claiming his first points and his first podium of the series. Fabrizio Ferranti is third. Here comes Laurent Lons, who dropped back a long way with that spin. He will be 4th. I'm probably quite disappointed with that. Phil Brown will be 5th. Out of the final corner comes Heat. 5th place for the Ferrari driver. Bill Grucock here is going to be 6th. The 4th time I think he's finished in the points this series. Always low down in the points, but tends to score points, so that's all he needs to do. Consistent finishing, and that's great from Bill Grucock in 6th place. Here comes Yusuf Masset, just missing out on a points finish in 7th position. Out of the final corner he comes, and across the line. And the only driver we're waiting for now is Max Shepard, who is going to be in 12th position, 2 laps down. Well, actually 2 laps down from the car ahead of him, so he may be many more laps down from the leader. Oh, he's going to spin off on the last lap. Shepard possibly having his worst race weekend yet. And that's saying something. Oh, you've got a feel for him. Drug has won the race and the championship, followed by Santini, Ferrante, Lons, Brown and Grucock, the point scorers. Then Masset to 4, Van der Geest, Roos, Stieg and Shepard. Shepard is still going to finish this race. And props to him for carrying on and finishing. Oh, he's spinning again! Oh no! Oh my goodness. What a disastrous final lap for Max Shepard. He's being passed by people on their in-lap. Oh, no. No, no, no. Come on, cross the line, Mac. Come on. Oh, no, he's pitted. I don't think it's going to allow him to finish now. And he lost at the final corner. Oh, that's gutting. Ah, he wasn't going to score points anyway, but that's gutting to crash at the final corner. I was cheering him on there. Oh, my word. Oh, no. Okay, whatever the case. Yucca Drug, fantastic drive to be champion of the series. Just brilliant. And he is ahead of Matteo Santini, Fabrizio Ferrante, Laurent Lons, Phil Brown, Bill Grucock, Yusuf Massett, Lewis Defoe, John Van der Geest, Jens Roos, Carl Stieg, Max Shepard, and then Pierluigi Italia, Martin McLoone, then Norman Bruce and Can Ucell, who did not finish the race. So that's a lot from us this weekend, this Friday rather. Join us in just 1 week's time for the Zandvoort 76 round, and that is going to be the 6th round out of 7 of this fantastic Classic Formula 1 Championship. Thanks for joining us today, and we will see you then. Goodbye!